Hello, and thanks again for joining us for another Fathom Live, a live show dedicated to giving you tips and insights from experts in and around the real estate industry. I'm your host, Jeff Sturz. Glad to be back with you, man. It's been like 3 weeks, way too long since we've been together today, or been together live, but excited for it. We've got Will Draper with us today, hailing from the Raleigh-Durham area in North Carolina. Will, glad to have you with us today.
It is very exciting for me to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope everybody gets some good value out of our conversation.
I am confident that they will. So if you're watching, take notes, or mark the timestamp where you heard something inspirational or incredible, because I think you will today. Before we jump into the questions, real quick with Will, we always have a giveaway that we do. So if you are on right now, comment. Give us a shout out, tell us where you're from or whatever in the comment section, either on Facebook or YouTube, and you're automatically then entered into a drawing. And then if you ask a question and engage during the show and we use it on the show, we throw you into that mix like 5 times, so that way you have a better chance of winning once we do the drawing. So from our last show, Dave Barney is our winner. So congrats, Dave. And you win one of 3 prizes. It's your choice. You can get $200 worth of yard signs, a photo listing package, or $200 worth of lead service from Go Social Agent. So you get to pick, but that's what you're sort of entering when you start commenting on here automatically. Our sponsor is Go Social Agent, offering you effective and affordable social media solutions to help agents grow their business, including getting your account set up, automated posting, agent-branded articles, buyer and seller handbooks, Facebook ad campaigns, and more, all to help you grow your online community and generate leads. So that's it. If you haven't hit the notification bell on YouTube, do it. That way you know we're going live, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and anywhere else we're on social, Pinterest even, and you can check out what's the latest. If you didn't catch our last show, it's somewhat akin to this show with Coley Bailey, and he talked about using video and other mechanisms to market himself, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And then we have 2 more agents already lined up to talk about how they're doing business as realtors. So looking forward to that. All right, all of that being done with, Will, again, thank you for coming on today. But just so our viewers understand a little bit about you, you didn't start in real estate you didn't start your career in real estate whatsoever. I mean, like nothing just about related to real estate.
Not even close.
So you, as I understand, you have a master's degree in geography, and you were a geographer of sorts.
Yeah. So I got my master's degree in geography and actually had a minor in mathematics, which are like 2 polar opposite things. But I was always a math nerd, and I like nature. And so in college, I got into natural disaster type stuff, think floods and hurricanes and wildfires. And that just started a tangent of really getting into geography. And I was a map maker for essentially 10 or 15 years. And what I thought was going to be a cool, I'm outside in the field industry turned up to be I'm behind a computer all day long, running algorithms and doing math and, making these maps, and did a bunch of really cool stuff with it, but just over time, it kind of weighed on me, and I realized I wasn't in my true passion. It was something I was passionate about at one time, but as the years go on and the monotony of it, I kind of decided to change course.
Okay, anything from that career though that you've been able to translate over into what you're doing today?
Yeah, so geography is all about spatial awareness. Okay, it's about how people interact with the environment. And so my specialty was studying how people interact with the environment and how the environment then is changed by the people, right? And in real estate, you're always working with people. Where are people moving? Why are they moving there? What is it about that particular location that is drawing people to it? Why is a home more valuable over here than it is over here?
You're right.
That's all geography, right? It's all human geography and the study of people and the interaction with the environment. And so that was a very good tangent for me. And when we were studying all the natural disaster stuff, we were looking at houses, we were looking at buildings, and we were saying, okay, if a hurricane came along and hit this building, what happened to it? Well, to do that, we had to study the roof structure, the building materials, how much glazing area, which is how many windows are on the house, which way is it facing, how steep of a slope is it? And we would come up with these algorithms and say, okay, if a hurricane hits this and it's a category 3, this house is going to be X damage and cost this much money to repair.
So when you see like news, a hurricane comes in, and within days, you already have expert like calculations of like this already has estimated, a cost of $3 billion in damage. You guys are handling that kind of stuff?
So yeah, the engineering firm I was a part of in North Carolina, our biggest client was North Carolina Emergency Management. So
Yeah.
when NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Association, would say there's a hurricane coming at this speed in this direction, my team, and I literally mean my team, was the one that came up with the algorithms and the data to feed information to the governor and the emergency operations people that says, okay, these roads are going to be flooded. These areas are going to expect these types of damages. These people are going to be impacted. And so anytime a big storm came, my team was on high alert, and we were working really hard and feeding all this information to the people that make big decisions.
So what led you from that? Did you go right from that to being a realtor?
No, I went from that to home inspection and then into real estate.
Okay. So a little bit of a bridge from one to the other,
There-
but there's not a
bridge.
bridge. There's not a bridge from geography to home inspection. That was just
No.
that just happened.
It doesn't make any sense, right? It just happened.
But you did a good job. You did a good job
Yeah.
with it, and then decided real estate offered some more opportunities, I guess, for growth and enjoyment.
Exactly.
So, okay, so you've been a realtor for the last 2.5 years or so. Last year was actually your first full year as an agent, so jumping first year 2020, which is exciting. And you did around 31 transactions at about 10 million in sales.
Yep.
And already you're at about 12 million in sales. You've done 13 transactions with about 8 under contract. Is that
That's right.
the
For this year,
Okay,
and that was
so
through the end of May.
great start into the real estate world. So congrats on that. But 2019 is actually when you started. So how did you start in 2019 to getting to 10 million last year and probably doing double that or more this year?
Okay, so I got licensed. It was like in between Christmas and New Year's 2018, and then actually started part-time in January of 2019. And I started with a firm and had no idea what I'm doing, because when you go to real estate school, they teach you how to stay at a real estate jail. They teach you how to read the contracts and know what you're doing, but they don't teach you how to do the business.
Right.
So when I got into it, I still owned a business. So I owned a home inspection company. So I knew how to run the business side, but I didn't know how to per se get clients, right? Like that's the hardest thing, is like, where do I get my clients?
Right.
So I did a lot of online leads. Our company fed us a lot of online leads. And I just learned how to have conversations with people, because I'm not a sales person, right? I'm a people person. Like I've always felt more at home working with people, and people I know, and people that know, like, and trust me. Because there's 3 different levels of people. The people that you just know, the people that know and like you, and the people that know, like, and trust you. And those are the ones that you can actually do business with.
Right.
And so that first year, I just did online leads for a little while and didn't really know what I was doing. I wasn't a student of the industry. And I realized as the year went on, what I had to do to get better was to really study the industry and just try to make sure I'm the best at what I do as humanly possible, whether that comes from just doing the marketing side, to the business side, to customer relationships, building a database and a pipeline of people. Like, how do I really learn how to do this business the right way?
Right.
And I just dove into education. And through that first year of part-time, I realized I can't do this part-time and be the best I can be. So I had to pull the Band-Aid off about October of 2019. And then that was my November and December were my first 2 full months, and they were with Fathom. And then I rolled right into 2020 when all the craziness happened. And I'd been studying the industry and studying how to be the best agent I could possibly be for about 6 months, and then hired a coach. And they really worked with me to develop a business so it's more predictable and not so up and down, because everybody knows real estate can be a roller coaster. I'm trying to take it from being like this to just being a little bit more like this. And it was all about building a business. It's not a job, it's a business.
Right. Highlight that, write that down, tattoo it on your forehead, do whatever. Real estate is not a job, it's a business, and that's going to help you. So I want to ask a little bit more about how being a student kind of led into what the stuff that you're doing, but just real quick and shameless Fathom promo from my side. Now, I know you're not asking for it, but why did you switch over to Fathom at that point? And this
So
would
the
have been
company I was
fall of 2019.
correct. Yeah. So the company I was at, they brought you in. They were like, we've got the leads, and we'll teach you how to convert the leads. But here's the thing: they just kept feeding you the leads, and when they
Right.
do that, everybody knows that there's a certain cap or there's a certain split that you have with brokerage. And I was getting to keep about 35% of every transaction because they did all the marketing and they just fed me leads. I had to convert them, I could close them. So at the end of 2019, I was dead broke. I did 19 deals my first year part time, but I was broke. And it's because I didn't get to keep any of the own money in my own commission. And so when I looked around at different companies, I saw Fathom. I was like, okay, I'm also a math guy too. I ran a business. I saw the same value with Fathom as these other companies, but it was a better financial model for me. And it allowed me to, it was cloud based. There's no brick and mortar. I'm in my home office right now. I'm very independent. I worked part-time from home before I owned my own business because I'm a family guy. I've got two kids that are 9 and 11. So the flexibility to work on my schedule, work from my house, be in charge of myself, and then that financial flexibility that Fathom gives, it was just a no-brainer for me and completely changed everything.
Well, cool. I appreciate you sharing. But that does translate into actually being an entrepreneur and being a business owner, because if even though there is you make what you earn in the other model, here you can actually make decisions with the money to make what you earn.
That I can reinvest in myself.
There you go.
That's what I do. Yeah.
So as far as studying, I just want to kind of park on that for just a second. One of the pillars that you mentioned to me when we talked before of your business is your sphere, your friends and family, people that you know that like you and trust you. So it's awkward to get into conversations with somebody about your business, especially when it's like everything's about a sale. If you're, I guess if you're a mechanic, maybe it's not, because just everybody's got car problems all the time. And, but when it comes to life insurance or whatever, it's like you always have to be turning, new business. So how did studying the business help create those conversations with your friends and family?
Those are some great words there. How did studying create conversation? Not how did studying create sales, right? You hit the nail on the head. It created conversation. So studying, I would spend probably, and I still do, 2 hours every day. 2 hours every day learning about the real estate business in general, and mindfulness. Okay? 2 hours every day. And by doing that, I like to do it first thing in the morning. I'm a big exercise nut. I run 5-6 miles every morning, and I'm listening to books and podcasts when I'm on that, reading as soon as I get back. So before 8 o'clock each day, I've spent 2 hours studying and really trying to understand the dynamics of the industry and what's going on in our local market as well. And having local market knowledge is super key. I'm in the MLS every morning studying what's going on. And when I hear people's questions out in the world, it tells me what I need to look up and study and find answers for.
Right.
And so I wouldn't bring it up. I would do this studying, and then the conversation would come up natural when I'm meeting with friends and family. They'd be like, "So, Will, how's work going?" Instead of being like, "Oh, the market's on fire." I'm like, it's actually kind of complicated.
It's interesting, right? Yeah, yeah. Here's what I learned today.
I'd throw out a statistic, and they'd be like, "Really? Tell me more." And then when they say, "Tell me more," I just keep telling them information. And not once do I say, "Do you know anybody looking to buy or sell?"
Right. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's not my speed. Like, I just want to give as much information as possible. And I have agents that reach out to me now and ask me some of this info, and I am an open book. And I found that just giving people information, and not look at me, more like, hey, here's what's going on in the world and how it could affect you and your friends and your family, and just giving them that information, the conversation comes up naturally. So every time I see somebody I know, not even somebody I know, like, and trust, they ask me questions and they say, how's the market?
Right.
Or, hey, what's going on? Is it really on fire? What's happening?
Right.
And so that's when I came up with like my video series, How's the Market? Is because people are always asking me these in-depth questions.
Right.
And I'm like, what better way to reach more people and tell them what's going on than find out what's hot on people's minds, spend 2 to 3 minutes researching and then talking about it, putting out a video and just putting it out there for anybody and everybody to see. And not once in it do I say, if you're looking to buy or sell, call me.
Right.
I feel like the more I give, the better for everybody. And in the end, if it comes back to me, that's awesome. If it doesn't and people are better educated, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I was saving this question for later, but somebody, Andre, asked, what books are you currently reading, or maybe that you've recently read that you would recommend?
Oh gosh, there's so many. The one I'm reading right now is The Art of Negotiation by Chris Voss. He's the FBI hostage negotiator director. There's some golden nuggets in that book. I really love that one. Life by Design is a really good one. That's by Tom Ferry. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That's a great book. And then I do have to plug the Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. That's a great book as well. What am I reading right now is the Chris Voss book. As you can see behind me, these are all of the books I've read so far in the past 2 months.
Gotcha.
And I do Audible books as well. Giftology is one that I'm super hot on right now too. Look that up.
You put that on my list, so I'm going to be looking at that one as well. So awesome. Yeah. So that's what it means to be a student. I mean, you're reading, and you know, I'm reading a book that's like way out in like nowheresville of my life, but it just piqued my interest, so I'm reading it, and I can't help but talk about it all the time, and it's just interesting, right? So you're not. I'm not soliciting anything. I'm just talking about what I find fascinating. So be a student. Exactly. It will generate opportunities. And then actually you know what you're talking about as well. I mean, if you get on and you create a market video, you actually know what you're talking about at that point. So great inspiration there. So as far as lead generation, which was the big question that you had and a lot of apprehension going into 2019 or going into 2020, where am I going to get the business if I was being fed it before? I think that's the question on every major agent's mind. So how do you get leads?
So there's a million different ways to get leads. And what I like to say is do what feels right to you. I'm not a cold caller. I don't call for sale by owners. I don't call expireds. But if you're looking at this as a business and not a job, you have to have foundational pieces before you can build the house. Okay. And for me, I like to concentrate on 4 separate pillars. All right. So the first pillar is going to be my past clients and my sphere. Now, this one is smaller for me because I've only been doing the business 2.5 years. So my past client base is a lot smaller, although at this point it's at about 80, which is pretty good. And I've had a bunch of referrals out of that so far. And then your sphere. And I think I alluded to this earlier. So in this pillar, past clients and then sphere. Sphere, you have people that know you, you have people that know and like you, and you have people that know, like, and trust you. Just like any type of sales funnel, your sphere is in that funnel because all of us have thousands of friends on Facebook that we know, but not all 1,000 of them are going to know, like, and trust you enough to do business with you, right? So on the past clients in the sphere, my job is to give them as much content and information and intelligence about what's going on out there without ever asking for a sale. And I do that by sending out a weekly video email that is a bomb. I don't know if you guys don't know what bomb is, look it up. It's in KV Core. It's a great tool. Right. Shameless plug for them. I am not paid by them, but I love them.
And I think as a Fathom agent with KV Core, you actually can do at least the first tier of bomb for free. So you can like get to know it and start using it right away.
Yeah, so I do a weekly email that is me talking directly to each person in my database, in my sphere and past clients. And it's just a quick, hey, here's what happened this week. And here's the market video we put out this week. And oh, by the way, here's all our new listings, events, open houses, all that stuff. So I do that. And then I follow up with them on social media a lot, Instagram, Facebook. So I'm always commenting on what they're doing, not just like giving them a fist bump or something, but saying something intelligent. And if I see them doing something amazing or see their kids that are graduating, I'm going to direct message them and say, hey, I saw that Calvin graduated high school today. Congratulations, guys. And if it's their birthday, I'm going to shoot a quick birthday video and send it to them. So it's just doing that and never asking them for business. Okay, so that's what I do with my past clients in Sphere. The next foundational piece is going to be online leads. Now, there's all different types of online leads. Zillow, realtor.com, OpCity. You can do Facebook leads, Instagram leads. There's companies that will run Facebook programs for you. I think Go Social does that. So I kind of lump all of those in together. I don't do all of them. I use OpCity, which I do through Fathom. I have a great return on that, and I do realtor.com. So I do buy some leads. It's not the core of my business. It's only 25% of my business. And it's all about ROI. That stuff's expensive. But if I put $1,000 a month in and I get $4,000 or $5,000 a month back, I'd be crazy not to put $1,000 in to get a 4 or 5x return. So if you have the money, it's not bad to have. That is my savings and vacation money. It's not my day-to-day living money. It goes in a different bucket. Okay, it's gravy. The third is going to be open houses. Didn't have a lot of open houses last year, but I did pivot and did a bunch of virtual open houses and got a bunch of leads that way. So by advertising open houses on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, I was able to get some leads through that doing open houses. Now that they're back, I did an open house the other weekend where we had 60 people through. I've already got one seller referral that I passed to another agent in a different state, and they're moving here, so I got a buyer out of it, and I got 2 seller buyer high intent probably in the next 2 to 3 months, and the open house was totally free. It just cost 2 or 3 hours of my time on a Saturday.
Right.
And then the fourth is geographic farming. Now this one is one I'm still tweaking with.
Yeah, I want to hear sort of what you've come up with and what your theory is on all of this.
So here's my theory, and it does tie back into video. Okay. So geographic farming, people are like, oh, direct mail, right? I'm supposed to send out 3 pieces per month. Oh, you okay over there?
Yeah, no, I just punched my mic. Sometimes I hate it. No, I moved my hand. So everybody's like the 3x3, 3 pieces of mail for 3 months to get, top of mind awareness, and then 1 or 2 pieces a month. That gets expensive, like depending on how many houses you're trying to farm. And I'm like, all right, I could successfully farm 300 houses a month for $1,000. And so I'm gonna spend $6,000 over 6 months to get thrown in the trash and maybe have somebody call me. I think when we talked the other day, I said, I think I had 3 people actually reach out to me from that, and I got no business out of it. So here's my thought. Why does geographic farming have to be mail? Why can't it be digital? Why can't it be video? Because people are on their phones all the time. And here's my theory. So these update videos I've been doing, I actually run as YouTube skippable in-stream ads. So if you're watching YouTube, you might see an ad that pops up and it says it's 30 seconds. You can skip after 5. I run those in my local market. And here's what I do. So where I live, I drop a pin and a mile radius of where I am. So it's going to hit all of my neighbors. So every time my neighbors are on there, they're going to see it. And all of my past clients, I load up and I pin drop them in a 1/4 mile radius. So them and all their neighbors. And then here's the real kicker that I've been testing is pin dropping grocery stores, Walmarts, anywhere where somebody's gonna be standing in line and looking at their phone and waiting. Well, oh, is this product any good? Let me look it up on YouTube real quick. Right. And they're going to get, who else is going to be doing skippable in-stream ads that are geo-targeting them where they're sitting and waiting? And I thought about this one after we talked the other day. Soccer fields, baseball fields on the weekend when people, and you can change the time of day all of these things run. So I can say, you know what, I want to drop $50 at this soccer field on Saturday from 2 to 4. And anybody that pulls up their phone, they're either going to get a Google display ad with my face on it and a video of the market update, or they're going to see my long form video if they're on YouTube. So when you advertise via YouTube and Google, you can go on a bunch of different platforms and they'll just send it out there for you. And you can specify location, you can drop pins, you can upload a customer list, you can specify times of day, days of the week. And I can't like
draw that to like I've gotten business from it, but what I do get is text messages from friends of me on their phones or on their TVs, and that is worth its weight in gold because they're throwing a party or they have friends over, and I go up on their screen when they're trying to listen to music. 30 people just saw me, and my watch rate, you're not going to believe this, everybody out there in the audience, he already knows, my watch rate is 90% for a 3-minute video.
Which is
90%.
crazy. If you don't know anything about analytics, that's crazy. That's crazy good. Well,
so what does that tell us? What does that tell us?
Well, first of all, it tells us you have an iconic face. I think that's part of it. You have a very like easy to look at, nice face that I think people go, well, that guy seems friendly, you know? So I think that tells us at least that much. But no, you're right. They're going to...
They want to know.
They want to know.
What's going on in the market. They want to know.
Now, when you do that, do you say... like how hyper targeted do you get in your video message? Like, hey, you know, such and such estates, you know, people. Do you get that local, or do you even mention where you're at?
So I say the greater Raleigh area. Okay. That can expand. Usually, I try to target Wake County. So Raleigh and Wake County, it's got like 12 or 13 suburbs. And I typically focus on Raleigh and Wake Forest. Those are like my primary areas where I do business. But as far as like the update numbers and trends and stuff, I use the greater Raleigh area. I might talk about, you know, Raleigh-Durham, Wake County and Durham County. But I'm getting ready to beta test something. And I tested this a little while ago. So this is going to be beta test 2.0. My last listing, I took my epic listing video, which is hilarious if you haven't seen it. It's not the one with the kids. It's the one with the nosy neighbor. 316hammond.com. Go look it up.
Say it again. 316 what?
316 Hammond Oak. HAMMONDOAK.com. Scroll down and you'll see the video.
Okay.
I took that video. I published it on YouTube and ran ads within a half-mile radius of the house that was for sale. And I got thousands of views for pennies. So if somebody's watching my video 1,000 times and I paid 3 cents a view, that's way better than me spending $6,000 on mail, where some people looked at it 3 times and reached out to me.
Right.
I had my seller call and was like, hey, by the way, I got your ringless voicemail and you keep showing up on my phone. And my neighbors are like, who's this guy that keeps showing up on our TV? That's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. Awesome.
And it didn't cost me hardly anything. So all my new listings, as soon as something closes, open houses, they're all going to get those quick shot video shots coming to them. Instead of me sending out postcards, I'm going to show up where people spend 75% of their day on their device.
There you go. That's it. So you got your 4. You've got Sphere. You've got open houses. You've got, I'm going to go out of order, online leads, and then geofarming would be the separate one. Somebody asked, have you ever tried sold.com?
So sold.com, I don't pay for anything, but I did get a lead from there who is an active buyer because they saw my content. So they saw one of my listings, then they looked me up, they saw my videos and my content, and they're like, okay, Will, you're our guy.
There you go.
And so we're actively shopping for a house for them.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Well, if you haven't gotten anything yet out of the video, then you aren't listening, because there's a lot of great stuff that you can try. If you, and you seem like somebody that can handle an off-the-cuff question. If you were to tell somebody, I would do this today or by the end of Friday, what would you tell them to do?
Get your Google My Business page up and running and dialed in.
There you go. That's it. That's your takeaway.
Do that. And here's the deal. Zillow, realtor.com, all of these search portals, right? They're trying to take our data and use our data. And yes, some people still feed the machine. I still feed the machine a little bit too. People still Google search people. If they run across your name, they're going to Google search you. If you don't have a presence on Google, you're doing it wrong. Get a Google My Business page. You want videos. You want photos. I started adding products. You know what products I added? All of my listings.
Interesting.
Right? Geotag your pictures. Geotag your video. because it's all SEO. If you go on Google My Business and you see product and
Uh-oh. I think we lost an internet connection there. Did we lose it on our end?
I'm good.
All right. Hey, we're back. We're back and going. Something glitched
Okay.
there.
Yeah, if you geotag your photos, so if you're out at a house and you take a picture, geotag it and load it up because Google knows where you are if you geotag it. And so if somebody types in agent in Raleigh, Rollsville, Wake Forest, Durham, wherever, and that's where you're based, and you have a bunch of photos and you review businesses, you're going to show up higher than anybody else because you know why? You have more data for them. Because if they say Raleigh and you have 100 pieces of content that are geotagged with Raleigh, you're more likely to show up than somebody that doesn't. And you need reviews. You need reviews on your Google My Business page. Transition from Zillow and realtor.com reviews. Go hard on Google reviews.
Awesome. Awesome. Because if they know you and they like you from your videos, but they don't trust you, then you're not going to do a sale, and that will help them trust you.
Right.
So there you go.
It's all about trust.
Man, well, I would love to continue on, and maybe we need to do a part 2 of this at some point, and hear later in the year how all of that has gone. I mean, that would be really cool to kind of follow up on sometime. So I'm asking you live to put pressure on you. But
I'm down.
But
I'm
okay,
down.
all right. We'll figure it out at some point here. But thank you so much for your time and sharing your experience. I mean, that's so invaluable, and hopefully also it's inspired people to do better in their business. So thanks for coming on the show.
And I just want to say one last thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys see me sitting here. I'm in a Hawaiian shirt. I got a necklace hanging out. I'm barefoot. I've got tattoos and a weird haircut. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Don't try to be somebody you're not, because if you go on video, people are going to tell if you're fake. Just be who you are. I'm never going to be the suit and tie guy. If you are, lean into it. If you're silly, lean into it. Lean into whatever your natural vibe is. How you act with your family is how you should act on camera.
Great advice. Great advice. And how you interact with your clients should be how you interact with your family too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I had a suit and tie on my Google My Business page and I'm all prim and proper in my videos, and then I get out of my Jeep with the doors off and flip flops when I go meet them, they're gonna be like, well, this doesn't add up.
Right.
Because in real estate, we're doing business like 24/7, like 7 days a week. And if that's the case, if you're running from a soccer game to go meet a client and you're not in a 3-piece suit,
you've overpromised and underdelivered.
Absolutely. That's what Joe Gibbs never wants to do. You want to underdeliver, or what is it? Underpromise and overdeliver.
That's
every
right.
time. Yeah.
Great advice, man. Really appreciate it. So we'll catch up with you again sometime later. If our viewers don't know, but so we'd scheduled this time, and Will had a client that kept him like literally seconds up to getting this show on. So he's a busy guy. He ran in the office, got things set up, and here we are for you today. And I assume you probably got a lot to follow up on with that. So we'll let you go, and look forward to having you on again sometime.
All right, sounds good. And anybody out there, feel free to reach out to me anytime if you've got questions. I am an open book.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
All right, awesome.
We'll talk to you later. If you're still watching and you haven't checked us out, go to fathomcareers.com and learn about a company that offers 100% commission and the tools designed for your success. And if you have questions, email us at marketing@fathomrealty.com, and we will be glad to answer any questions that you have and get you connected with somebody in your local market to help you make that transition if you think, hey, this is the brokerage for me. So we look forward to hearing from you. We have Debbie Stallings on our next show, and then we have another agent or two, I believe, already lined up after that, which is exciting. Just seeing boots on the ground, people that are taking what they've learned and sharing it with you and how they are successful in their business. So we'll see you in a couple